Hey gamers, hope you guys have been having a great day. Today I am coming back to you with another one of my guides for Final Fantasy XIV PvP abilities. Today I am going over the Dragoon kit as well as their role actions and their combos as per usual. This is one of and almost my favorite class in the entirety of PvP. I love playing melees, as you guys know. Dragoon has a special place in my heart because this is the class that I won my first Crystal promotion game on and ranked. I absolutely love it. I feel like I can play it pretty well, and so I hope that you guys can learn something from this guide and from the gameplay that's going to come after. I will be doing a Rival Wings play-by-play game of Dragoon after this guide is over for the second part of this video, and so I hope you guys can learn something from both parts. So without further ado, let's take a look at the Dragoon abilities. So as with any standard class in Final Fantasy XIV PvP, button number 1 is your combo button. Dragoon has 4 hits on its original combo. It has Raid and Thrust for 5k, Bang and Claw for 6k, Wheeling Thrust for 7k, and Drake's Bane for 8k. Something to know about this combo is that, honestly, you don't ever press it. You really don't. You are pressing every other button in your kit. This kit flows together so well that you barely even have time to press your basic combo. But it is there, and it does still do a decent amount of potency. So press it when all of your other buttons are on cooldown, and you're in a safe position to do so. Ability number 2 is Chaotic Spring. Chaotic Spring is a separate combo button, its own skill, 16-second cooldown, 8k damage, and the most important part is that it pierces guard. So you do full damage to someone who is in guard when you press Chaotic Spring on them. The most important part about Chaotic Spring, though, is that it also heals you for 150% of the damage that you do with it. So in a regular scenario, if you hit someone through guard for 8,000 potency, you are going to heal for 12,000 potency. So it's almost a recuperate, and when your target is damage amped enough, it basically is a recuperate. So it's a additional tool to help keep yourself alive. Coming up with ability number 3, we have the core of the Dragoon class. This is called Gearskogel, and Gearskogel does a lot. There are several parts to it. This is a line attack with a 20-second cooldown that does 4,000 damage. But the damage doesn't matter, and honestly, the 4k damage is kind of irrelevant. You're never going to get a kill with it. However, this button amplifies your own damage by 25%, as well as it makes you take more damage by 25%. So it's basically a personal damage buff, but you are amping yourself for the other team to hit you. So when you are in this stance that you are about to see, be careful, because if you become the target for the enemies, you're going to die a lot faster. When I throw Gearskogel, a few things happen. Number 1 is my combo button turns into a ability called Starcross. Starcross can only be used when in this state called Life of the Dragon. That is your buff. That is what the name of your damage amp buff is. When you are in Life of the Dragon, or as the PvP community refers it to as simply Life, and you're doing more damage, that's the only way you can press Starcross. If I throw this other button called Nostrand before I press Starcross, it goes away and I never get to use it. So you want to make sure that when you enter life, you're going to have a window to use Starcross. Otherwise, you are wasting your damage. Speaking of Nostrand, though, Nostrand is also a 4,000 potency hit. However, this ability does more damage the lower health your target is. So notice that because the striking dummy was below 50% health, that Nostrand just did 10,000 damage. So you want to look to use Nostrand on targets who are below 50% HP, so you will see that 10,000 crit number appear. So again, keep in mind, when you're in life, you do more damage, but you also take more damage. So be wary, no matter what game mode you're in, of where you're standing. Ability number 4 is called Horrid Roar. This is a very simple button. It does only 3k potency, and it has a 24-second recast timer. The most important thing about Horrid Roar is it reduces any target that you hit it with, it reduces their damage by 50%. That's a lot of damage reduction. However, you must get close to use it. It is a circle. This debuff right here on the striking dummy indicates that if the striking dummy were to hit me, he would only do half of his damage. So if he had an attack that did 10,000 damage, it would instead do 5,000 damage to me. This is a great button if you can get it off on multiple targets, but it also requires you to put yourself out of position in a lot of cases, and even though you get damage reduction out, you can still die. You're not immune to damage, you just take less damage. So be careful about using it, but use it strategically. You can use it to avoid big LB damage, and potentially live a situation that you were not supposed to live. So use it wisely, and that is how Dragoons stay alive and how they take so little damage. That is the Horrid Roar debuff on your bar. So be on the lookout for that if you're playing against a Dragoon. Next ability is Elusive Jump, otherwise known as Backflip, because that's what it's called in PvE. Backflip propels you 15 yalms in the opposite direction of what you're facing. So if I'm looking directly at this striking dummy and I press my backflip, I will go directly away from him. If I am looking away from the striking dummy and I press my backflip, I will instead flip towards him. Backflip also removes any heavy or bind effect that you have on you. So let's say I get heavied by a Reaper Grimswithe. If I backflip, that heavy automatically goes away without me having to purify. If I get binded by a Bard Repelling Shot, same thing. It automatically goes away. I don't have to burn my purify. It's just gone. Next effect is it increases your movement speed by 25%. So if I backflip towards the striking dummy, I'm actually moving quite fast and I don't have my sprint active. So that's the 25% movement speed buff. And finally, and most importantly, they grant you a buff called First Mind's Focus, which gives you another damage button called Whirlwind Thrust. Whirlwind Thrust is a very, very fun and very, very hard hitting ability. Something unique about it is that the farther away you are from your target, the more damage it does. So I use my backflip and I come all the way down here to these stairs, and then I throw it at the striking dummy. It crits for 16,000. That's the most amount of damage that it can do, unless you have your life buff on, in which case it would do 20,000. But if I backflip and I use this button right next to the striking dummy, it only does 8k. Doesn't do a whole lot. So when you use Whirlwind Thrust, make sure you are as max range as you can possibly get. Finally, for regular abilities, ability number 6, we have High Jump. High Jump is a 6k potency gap closer that only has a 10-second cooldown, so you can use it quite often. It also turns your basic combo button into Heaven's Thrust. Heaven's Thrust is a pretty powerful single target hit for 10,000 damage, and you want to use it every time you have that proc from your High Jump, because it just does a lot of damage for one single button press on such a low cooldown. So make sure you always use Heaven Thrust off of your High Jump. That is all the regular abilities out of the way. So let's talk about its LB. I know that Dragoon Limit Break in PvP is my favorite limit break. The reason is because of how much potency it does and how satisfying it can be to land on multiple targets and kill them all. And it was you and your damage alone that did it. This LB is called Sky Shatter, and it does a few things. First of all, when you are in Sky Shatter, or excuse me, Sky Shatter's the second part. Sky High is the first part. When you click your LB, you enter Sky High. You remove any heavy and bind effect on you, once again, just like backflip, and you are untargetable, and you are floating in the air with a little indicator underneath you. It then turns into Sky Shatter, which is a insanely strong AoE button that hits for 40,000 damage. Let me say that one more time. It hits for 40,000 damage. That is, if you're in life. It also gives you a humongous 24,000 shield when you land on the ground. If an enemy is too far away from your Sky Shatter, so if this striking dummy is my main target and I clip this one here with the edge of the circle, it's only going to do half damage. It's not going to do the full amount. So the best way to use Sky Shatter is, number one, in combo with another LB that can ensure someone's guard is down. Or you can punish a guard. If you see someone guard and you know they can't escape, you can simply Sky Shatter above them, and when their guard drops, you drop on them, do your full damage. There you go. I've done either 32k or 40k, depending, damage directly to them. When you use this button in frontline against an entire team, you have the potential to do nearly 600k damage if you were to hit every person on a different team while you were in life in the center of your Sky Shatter. That is an absurd amount of damage to be dishing out as one person. Not to mention all the potential damage amplifiers that you could have in combo with Dragoon LB. So when you see a Sky Shatter hovering above you, you better have a plan, because if you don't, more than likely you're going to die. So just keep that in mind. So that is the entirety of Dragoon's kit. Not too complicated. Pretty simple. Does a ton of damage, and that's all it does. If you'll notice, I talked about removing crowd control, but Dragoon doesn't have any. It doesn't have a stun, a bind, a heavy. It doesn't have anything. It's just damage. That's all it is. So if you're playing with a Crystalline Conflict team that has just damage and low CC, Dragoon, it's right in. That's what it's made for. It's made to do big damage really fast. And it does very good at it in every single game mode. So if you like doing big damage numbers, consider picking up Dragoon. Lastly, let's take a look at the role actions and what I like to use. On melees, you have Bloodbath, you have Swift, and you have Smite. Bloodbath, if it's not a Viper, you're not running Bloodbath. So, do not run Bloodbath on Dragoon. Dragoon is between Swift and Smite. Me personally, my personal favorite is Swift. And there's one specific reason for that. When you go to LB, if you press Swift before you press Sky High, it looks like this. Instead of going slow, you go really fast. This allows a Dragoon player to put themselves in prime position to do big damage without assistance from your team. So, for example, in Frontline, you're fighting on the Onsel midpoint that is so infamous for padding damage numbers. If I pop Swift and then I hit Sky High, I can zip over to an enemy ramp almost instantly and land on them and get my free damage without having to ask for setup from my team. So much fun. I have a ton of fun with Swift. However, the alternative, Smite, it's also a great choice. It just depends on preference. Because due to the amount of damage that Dragoon has, Smite just adds to the number. So you can do things like doing a Heaven's Thrust straight into a Smite to execute somebody. Doing a Star-Cross straight into a Smite. You get the idea. You combo damage with more damage, and you get more kills. It's as simple as that. But if I'm playing to win on Dragoon, I'm taking Swift for myself, so I can get into position easier, and then have access to my backflip to help get me out, if need be, after I use my Sky Shatter. Lastly, before I end the guide video off, let's talk about Dragoon combos. It really only has one main combo, but you can always mix and match the order. And the reason it only has one combo is because it has to do with your Life of the Dragon status effect from Gerskogel to make you do more damage. So, if you have everything available, my favorite combo looks like so. I have every button available. I press Gerskogel and then backflip. I send my Wormwind, then I send my Starcross and High Jump into a Heaven's Thrust Nostrand. Against good players, you won't get that full combo off. They will CC you because they see that you are in your Life of the Dragon state, and you could potentially die pretty quickly. So, the simple version of this combo is to simply Gerskogel backflip, press one of the buttons, then the other, and then the Strand right after. So that way you're not in life for very long. You can get your main damage buttons out and stand a better chance of living, and you can roll with the rest of your damage buttons. If you have LB, the combo is a little different. My preferred combo is using LB immediately after you press Gerskogel. So I'm going to use Swift as well, and I'm going to target this striking dummy with my LB. So I'm going to throw Gerskogel at this striking dummy to get my buff, and then I'm going to Swift and LB. I'm going to land, press Starcross, backflip, Wormwind thrust, Nostrand. You get it off just in time. You have to hang in the air for about 3 seconds, but you can hang in the air for 5. So if you want to do quick, fast, huge damage, you need to land immediately. That's really all there is to it, because high jump is just simply used to get in range to start your life combo. It's not really a part of the combo itself. Chaotic Spring, used for one of two reasons: finishing a kill through a low health target through guard, or healing yourself because you're missing health. It doesn't really go in the combo either. Same thing with Horrid Roar. If you're around a bunch of enemies and you know they have damage, which they probably do always, you hit Horrid Roar, you cleave several people, and you can free cast your damage a lot easier with a lot less risk of dying. But yeah, that's Dragoon. Raw damage, no crowd control, just a lot of kills and a lot of heavy burst damage for your team in any mode. I have nearly 30 bombed on this class. It's been close. It's been 28 before. I have a damage record of 5 million in the previous Mogtome event. This class, it's so much fun. I can't get enough of this class. Once I get my title and I play for fun more, I will play this class a lot more. I'm trying to restrain myself because I already have my melee title, but it is what it is. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed my Dragoon guide. I hope you learned something from it, and I hope that you can learn something from my gameplay that comes after. All right. Loading into a Dragoon game. I'm gonna try to do a play-by-play for my Dragoon, just like I did for my Reaper. My Reaper game was really solid, so I hope that my Dragoon game can be solid as well. Roll action. You have two real options on Dragoon. You have Swift or you have Smite. I've run both. No matter how many times I run Smite, I always go back to Swift, and sometimes it is mid-game. So I don't know, I just like the movement speed that you can have with Swift on this class, and it does so much damage that I feel like you don't necessarily need Smite. So I just use it for getting good positioning with my Sky Shaders, and hope that I can get several kills with it. Fortunately, Dragoon shines best in mid, but we have a Gobby Juice round. So Gobby Juice rounds play a little differently. No matter what class I'm playing, I always go left. The reason I go left is I kind of just check to see how powerful the other team is. See how many people they send over here, how aggressive they play. This white may just plunge, so I'm gonna try to kill him. Can't quite get in range to finish. Port. I don't really care that these guys are doing damage to me, to be honest. Just kind of looking at who's not full health and just hitting them with damage. See if I can get this monk. Got this monk. And that Dragoon. Got him too. Have Sky Shatter next time my full damage is up. I could have honestly popped it right there, but I don't know how many kills I would have gotten if I did. But I am gonna pop it right now. Yep, Monk is animation locked. And since he's animation locked, I'm just gonna drop on him and guarantee the free kill. I've had better starts, I've had worse starts. Can I quickly kill this machinist? Maybe get a lucky last hit on the op. Nope, not quite. See if I can get this Dragoon. Got him with high jump. Got Sky Shatter coming up again pretty soon. Just gonna scoot back here. Have a CC there, and they dropped a Mega Flare. I got Monk bead. Classic. It's okay, we got the return kill on him. I was about to Sky Shatter and I played too greedy for too long and there was a monk there, so honestly, death was kind of deserved, but it's okay, it happens. Gonna look to zoom in on this suppressor with full damage. Gonna hit this ninja, especially now because he's linking. Okay, he dashed away. There's a merc above me. I need to go up there. Never mind, team got it. Team paying attention to objectives, always good. There's a lot of resistance going south, and I am not yet at 20, so I'm gonna go south. Especially because they have a brute down there. Brutes take down towers pretty quickly. Still have both of ours up, but our weak one is north, and they're choosing to south right now, so... Shape. Just gonna throw damage on this CC for free. I have Sky Shatter. I want to wait till I have life available. I go up now. Top of the brute. Full damage. Nice little 67k there. Alright, we got rid of their push entirely. There's a gob tank mid, and the train is coming in from the other side, so I'm just gonna walk down the tracks. I did just use Sky Shatter, which sucks, but... I have to watch my HP here. Got one. I am still alive. I don't have guard, could get sniped, never mind, he died. Good. Okay. I don't have any EMP and I should pot, but I have Sky Shatter and Swift and I'm gonna be greedy instead. Just gonna go after this brute. Damage. Backflip into my tower so I only take half. There we go. He died. And now I can pot because I'm standing on my tower. There's infantry behind me. I'm just gonna kill him. Or help kill him. There we go. Okay, I got another op in. He's gonna die really fast. I'm not even gonna get damage on him. Go Warm Wind above me at this Picto. I'm gonna swift so I can catch him. Dead. I've Sky Shatter soon. Sean running out though, so no point in using it. Have two ops running south, looking for our tower. I'm gonna pivot actually because that tower is a big advantage. They also have, oh yeah, they also have a brute down there. Yeah, I need to go south. He is punching our tower to death. He's probably gonna get it. One more punch and it's dead. I'm gonna lose my shot here, but these oppressors are right next to each other, and I'm gonna cleave them. Yeah, we got one. Should get the other one before he gets the shots off. Yep. Okay. Unfortunately, we lost our lead, but actually, never mind. We didn't lose our lead. We are tied because of North Lane. We have 6.5 minutes left. If this situation was a minute and a half left or less, we would look to just all in the core with damage. But we still have a bit more time on our hands. Kind of just walking mammoths in. There's no real point of us being down here. They don't have any base killers up yet. Kill that monk because the animation locked. Do have life coming up soon. I'm gonna swift in an LB here. Did it a little too early. Just gonna exit this way. And they're starting to get momentum back in this lane. There is a brute north. We need to take care of it. There's also a MCT in mid. Since I'm closer to mid, I'm gonna go up here and make sure that no infantry shows their face really quickly. Never mind, actually. There's plenty up there. The push did die, but not before we lost our lead again. Let's kill these infantry stragglers here. Die. Looking to go in here. Actually, not as many people here as I thought. I actually am going to go in now, as they both pop guard, and now they're both dead. Something Sky Shatter is really good at in any game mode is punishing guard. When you know they don't have it, or when they use it, you can just hover above them and get the easy kill. Okay, our mix unfortunately died, so I'll have to run. No point in me being there. This is a close game. We're getting slightly pilot diffed, meaning that their pilots are better than ours. But that's okay. I'm just gonna throw damage at this cruise because I have nothing else to do. Make sure he doesn't get a hit on either one of our brutes. Have life in 10. Gotta be careful, I don't want to get punched. Actually got a horrid roar the mech. Okay, mech dies. This mech should die. I'm just gonna punish this white mage because I can. Especially standing here all being, killed him. Very good. Just gonna look to throw damage. Above me. Telling these mechs to go punch the core because sitting here punching infantry is useless. Should let us do it. Yeah, pilots are definitely preventing us from winning this game for sure. Guard by him. I'm going to run away again. Actually going to go down here in mid and I'm gonna meet their brute. Brute on brute action. This guy's not gonna get anything, but neither is ours. And honestly, that was what he should have done. Please punch the core. Thank you. Look at that. One punch and we're winning. Okay, what I'm gonna do is something that I don't normally do in these games ever. I'm just gonna go be the core. And I'm gonna die. It's totally fine. Actually, I have another Sky Shatter. Throw damage for fun. Get that guy killed. I don't think that 3 points was all me, but I did a lot. And, should be the win for us. Yep. Very nice. 3 mil damage, 12 kills. 12 kills is a little low, but that's okay. Still really solid damage. Barely any damage to other. When I play Robo Wings on any class, I kind of just look to do as much damage to infantry and vehicles as possible. That is my purpose. So this number tends to be large and this number tends to be low. That's just what I do. I hit mammoths when I have to, but other than that, I hit players and mechs, and that's it. But very solid game, very close game. I would ironically think that me quickly typing to the mechs to go punch the core won us that game because he got one punch off and he died, and that was all we needed. So, but yeah, that is Dragoon, and I hope you guys can learn something from my slight play-by-play-ish commentary. And hope you guys enjoy.